Lord. This is nice and warm, isn't it? I think I saw a Thunderbird. Well, I mean, I couldn't tell, but you know, it could have been a Thunderbird. Okay, so I was kind of asking for, well, I was sort of asking for UFO type of experience. I just can't believe, you know, like when I actually get one or whatever. But, and then I kind of had UFOs on the brain lately, you know, because I've been watching some shows or whatever. But on Thursday, I was about to go to Target, and it was already really, really dark outside. It was 20 after 6. It was 6:20. And I've seen, because I used to jog at nighttime a long time ago, I used to see shooting stars occasionally. Like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times I've seen shooting stars, but they're like way, way up there. But this was not no shooting star. This was like a UFO, aka ball lightning. But it was over there going west. And, I mean, it wasn't that high. There's no way it could have been, it wasn't a shooting star. It wasn't even high at all. Just like maybe, I don't know, maybe 1,000 feet or 500 feet. You know, it wasn't that high. It was, I don't know, maybe 30 houses. I don't know, I guess that would be like 30 stories or whatever. So I don't know. But it wasn't very high, so there's no way it could be ball light. I mean, there's no way it could have been a shooting star. But that was my first thought. I'm like, what is that? What is that? What is that? And it, for a long time, it was like, psh. It just went from left to right in a straight line, from east to west, right up there in the front yard. Up there, actually, a little more southwest. But it looked just like this. Had like a tail, and it just kept going left to right, just in a smooth trail. And but I was just like, what is that? What is that? You know? But it had to have been the aliens. So basically, that's called ball lightning. But basically, they're UFOs. That was on Thursday. But of course, 2006. I already said about that before. The big O, I mean, from a long, long distance, it looked like as big as a basketball, and it just went up. It did a semicircle. It was way up in the sky. And it's completely clear night, completely. This was in Austin, Texas in 2006. I had Bobby out there at 2:30 in the morning because I used to work nights, and I took Bobby outside to play. And I looked up in the sky, and the ball lightning just, it just went in a semicircle. It just formed up there in the sky. I mean, it just appeared in the sky, and then it just did a semicircle. And I was just kind of like, what is that? Well, Milton, the gay guy that sat behind me at work, I told him about it. And he's like, oh, that's called ball lightning. Because I didn't know about the aliens back then. And he told me some things that he's seen before. And then, of course, later on, when I look at ball lightning, I think that was around 2011 or 2012. When I looked at ball lightning, I realized it's all alien phenomenon. But that time it was orange. And it just looked like a basketball, and it just formed in the sky and then just went up and did a semicircle from left to right. And, but then a couple of days ago, not a couple of days ago, about 5 days ago, my coworker, she texted me, and she's like, what is this? She's like, it was on my she didn't seem to want to tell me if it was her mom, dad, whatever. Because she's from Lebanon, and this was in Lebanon. Her friends, or mom or dad or something, on camera, got this thing on camera. And she texted me, and she's like, what is this? And I was like, oh my God, that's a rod. That's a rod, alien entity type of being, interdimensional being. And I heard about rods even before I was into aliens a long time ago. And then recently, about a month ago, on the Monster Quest, they were talking about rods. And I didn't, or at least I don't remember, I didn't realize another name for them till just yesterday is also SkyFish. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting too, because some of these entities, they kind of like live in water, you know, and their dimension, like, I think that little ill looking thing that showed up at my bed, I knew I felt something at the side of my bed, side of my face when I was sleeping. This was back like in 2013. And by my pillow, and I got up when I got up out of bed, I snapped a picture, and it was like this little ill snake looking thing right there by my bed, and I felt it. I felt the little entity, and it made me wonder if it also lived in water, because Dolores Cannon talks about some of those little alien entities, those insect entities that live in water, you know. So anyway, but some people think the rods are some type of entity that's a bird, but it could be more like a little fish type of thing, a fish entity. So if that's the case, it probably does live in water. But anyway, this is the picture I got just from the internet, because I texted some of those pictures from the internet to Elizabeth, and I was like, see, your friend or whatever got a rod on camera, and this is that's the original one right there. That's the authentic one right here. And it looks like it could be, I don't know, like 3 or 4 feet, or maybe not even that high, 3 or 4 feet above the car right there. Now that, I don't know what the hell that is. I think that's another kind of orb. But look at that. That's a freaking rod, man. And who knows if it's some kind of freaking fish entity. But man, because you can't really tell what the hell it is. But it's definitely some kind of entity. But they're called rods. And like I say, another name is SkyFish. And like I say, that's original right there. Okay, so, let me see. And it has the time on it. It was October 23rd. Has the time on it right there. October 22nd. And it appeared to be at 11, it was 11 something p.m. Okay, October 22nd, and then, because that would be military time, that's 11 something p.m. So that was caught on camera. This true little rod. Except most of the time, people get them kind of higher in the sky, and that's the vehicle right there. See, it just seems like it's, well, you can't really tell, I guess, but it just looks like it's, I don't know, it could just be 3 to 4 feet above the car, or maybe even a foot above that vehicle right there. But that's kind of cool. And now, a couple months ago, I was sitting there in my car at work, looking at the trees and the little bushes, and I wonder what the hell this was too. I know it was alien stuff, but it was just this big blob of, I mean, it was huge. I mean, as big as a freaking THUNDERbird or whatever. Well, that's another, you know, paranormal type of thing. But it just seemed like, I just was looking through the bushes. And, I mean, but this was no taller, I mean, it was flying no taller than the top of not much taller than the top of a freaking house. You know, it couldn't have been a drone, because at first I was like, what the hell was that? Was that like a drone or something? There's no way it could have been a drone. First of all, it was fucking huge, as big as my vehicle. And it just went from left to right. I mean, it only happened a couple seconds, but I was like, what the hell was that? But it was just this dark grayish, or I don't know, maybe medium gray blob that I saw just going through the damn houses, basically barely at the top of the houses. And in front of those houses, as I was looking through the bushes right there, And like I say, this was like a couple months ago, but I don't know what the hell that thing was. But now it makes me think it could have been a Thunderbird. But anyway, it was probably just, you know, the aliens, you know, wanted to show me something, so they probably just kind of posed as some kind of gray UFO or something. But like I say, then when a couple weeks ago or whatever, when I started watching, you know, and I've heard of these beings before, then as I started looking back, when I, you know, heard about the Thunderbirds again, and then when I started, you know, thinking back a couple months ago, I was like, shit, man, maybe that was a freaking Thunderbird, you know? But it's all freaking alien activity. I mean, like not necessarily, I mean, that maybe that really is a real entity. And like these, I think, could be real entities. But I mean, the Thunderbird and stuff like that, you know, that just could be, that could be a real entity, or the aliens are just sort of, you know, they can make you see whatever they want to see, what they want you to see. So it could just be, you know, may not be a real entity, but it could just be created by the aliens. But yeah, like all this stuff is just alien created. This ball lightning bullshit. And like I say, this one looked just like this, basically. Just going from left to right in the sky. And I sat there and looked at it at least 5 or 6 seconds, and I was just like, or maybe a little bit longer, I was just like, what is that? What is that? Because I knew it wasn't a shooting star. But anyway, like I say, I was kind of talking to the beings, so they answered my call, I guess. They created that for me, but I think it'd be really cool to really see like a disc, you know, that just hovers there forever or whatever. I've never seen something like that before, because they never show themselves, you know, as like real disc looking UFOs and stuff. Or not in 3D anyway. They show themselves as other things like ball lightning, that weird thing, and real physical looking airplanes that tilt down and to the right. They show themselves as, you know, real looking airplanes. Of course, I asked for that experience too. That was a few years ago. I talked about that in another video. Back behind that same area where I saw the that Thunderbird or whatever. But they've never in 3D. Now in non-3D, yeah, they have shown themselves as discs and stuff like that. And even like a rectangle looking UFO type of thing. With the little point at the end. I already talked about that in other videos, but in 3D they've never showed themselves as a freaking disc to me, you know what I'm saying? But other people, they do. But what else was I gonna say about the but I mean, talk about a rod. That really looks like a rod, some kind of rod. Something you would get at Home Depot or something. And I think that's just another entity flying with the rod. But yeah, that's interesting, because I mean, it looks very similar to what rods are supposed to look like, aka SkyFish. But oh, another thing I was gonna say was kind of funny, and like I say, here's the original. These are the originals right there. That's the original one. And then I posted it on the paint template. But another thing is kind of funny though. These normal layman people, they don't understand these alien abductions. They don't understand that they're sitting there in the sky abducting the water. It's kind of funny. But this is Unsolved Mysteries, Something in the Sky,
March 8th, 94.
Anyway, it's just kind of funny because they
Young couple.
Like they sit there and call it a waterfall because they don't understand that the aliens are sitting there abducting the water. I guess they're gonna do tests on it or something.
that were camping out that night, a nice cold night, power of water. Night right on the lake after midnight. The wife woke up. There was a tall tower of water.
And see, they don't know what to call it other than a waterfall. Well, that's not a waterfall. The aliens are literally abducting the water. The water is going up. Because that's how they abduct. See how it's going up.
They said it looked like a huge waterfall. Went up.
See, it's funny.
Almost as high as what looked like the height of the sky.
See, they think it's a waterfall. It's not a waterfall. How can a waterfall go up? Waterfalls go down. But normal people that, you know, aren't really into the aliens like I am and shit, and know how they operate, they don't realize that the aliens are actually there, invisible, and they're abducting the freaking water. They're taking a water sample.
At least 20 feet wide.
Okay.
It was lit behind.
But anyway, I just think that's funny because that's how they abducted me in the bed. That's how Joel abducted me one time. Him and other reptilians, and then that's how the Greys abducted me one time in that bed in there. You know, they suck you up. Some powerful. Well, actually, when the Greys abducted me, I only felt myself being sucked back in bed. But when the reptilians abducted me, I was like totally conscious at the very beginning and throughout the whole experience. And I was trying to fight it, not to be sucked up out of bed. I was trying to fight it, but I couldn't. In the end, he still won. And then I had that awesome experience to the church. And that experience is on here. That was in 2015. But that's how they abduct. You know, they'll show in pictures, like they'll show a picture of the UFO, and then they'll show like a big beam of light, and then they show the cow going up. I mean, that's how they freaking abduct, you know, sometimes. But the funny thing is, when it's happening to you, you don't see the fucking UFO. You don't see it like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't see it like that. You know, like Billy Hatcher and the giant egg. At the end of each, what do you call that? At the end of each, okay, hold on. I forgot what it's called. Billy Hatcher. I haven't played these games in a long time, man. I forgot what they're called. Billy Hatcher and the giant egg. What's it called? Oh, yeah. It's called a level, not episode, but levels. At the end of each level. You know, at the end of each level, you'll complete a level. And then it shows a UFO. And then it shows... And then it sucks Billy Hatcher up into the UFO. That's how they abduct. But like I say, when it's happening to you, you're not going to necessarily see a fucking UFO. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see no fucking UFO, you know, when they abducted me like that. But anyway, I just think it's kind of interesting because the normal layman, see, all they know is to say, oh, it's a waterfall. Because they don't understand the aliens actually abducting the damn water. But whoever designed that, it was subconscious. Must have been subconscious in their head. That's how they abduct, you know. But it wasn't probably conscious to them. You know, like whoever created this right here. Because this isn't real. This is just some kind of digital creation. But they did a good job.
Went up almost as
they're
high
abducting
as
the water.
What?
You can't see no UFO. I mean, it's there with that big old white globby bright stuff. But anyway, it's just kind of interesting. I mean, they can sit there and make that disappear if they wanted to. You know, because they could abduct it. Fred the turtle. And you're not going to see the aliens standing there. You know what I'm saying? They've done shit right in front of my face, and I cannot see the alien standing there. They batted a cat toy over before. They're like, boing, and then I was like, what the hell? It was right in front of my face, but the alien wasn't seen. It was invisible. But anyway, so that's my experiences with some of the ball lightning and crap. Yeah, well, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.